Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, we're going to talk about the Vandy game, obviously, give a little report card and talk about all the things that happened yesterday. Let's pull up this screen here. The Vols sink the Commodores, and yep, they definitely went down with the ship. And Josh Heupel, I think he was pretty pleased with the team's performance, and understandably so. The defense showed up. I don't know where the crap they were against South Carolina, but they showed up and they put their boots on and got to work. So I was pleased with that. So we'll talk about them a little bit and on down the line. The score was ridiculous. I mean, look at this, 56-0. I didn't see that coming. I mean, there's just no way I saw that coming. 56-0 after what happened in South Carolina and how the defense has played all year. I thought, well, heck, this Vandy quarterback's probably going to have a Heisman moment. You know, that seems to be what we do for a lot of the quarterbacks that are struggling. They see us and all of a sudden they get 300-400 yards. Well, that didn't happen, not even close. Now let's take a little look at the box score. Joe Milton was 11 for 21. So that's just a little over 50%. And I know it was raining and all, but, you know, there was some overthrows, unfortunately, and he threw for 147 yards. Now, had somebody told me that he was going to throw for 147 yards, I would think we were probably going to, I don't know if we were going to lose, but we were probably going to be in a real tight ball game. But what we did on the ground was amazing. I mean, 362 yards rushing. Jalen Wright had 5 carries for 160 for a 32-yard average. I don't think I've ever seen that. Dylan Sampson, this guy's special. 12 carries, 131, 10 yards. And then Jabari Small, you know, he really struggled. He had a 7-yard average. So 362, that's fantastic. That really is. And I know it was raining. That was part of it. But really, this ball game could have been even worse because had Joe Milton hit some of those guys on those long passes, there's just no telling what would have happened. It might have been 100-0. The big issue was stopping Ray Davis. And the Vols really did. This guy is a very tough runner, and he normally averages about 100 yards per game or more. The last couple of games they played, I think he averaged around 130 yards. And I said if he's anywhere from 120 to 140, they're in the ball game. Well, that absolutely did not happen. Ray Davis had 21 carries for 60 yards, under 3 yards. That is absolutely fantastic. I could not be more pleased. Now, if I saw that, I would think we definitely won the ball game, because that was a key element. If they couldn't run the ball, they were in trouble. Wright ran for 50 yards, but as a total, they only had 147 yards combined with a 3-yard average. I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. And then as far as throwing the ball, they barely had 100 yards. I mean, their offense was beyond pedestrian. Nobody has played that poorly against us all year. That was even worse way worse than Kentucky. So I could not be more pleased with how they handled this game, especially coming back from the South Carolina debacle. This was a great way to finish out the regular season, that's for sure. So let's give out some grades here. And since the running backs had such a field day and the offensive line obviously played a huge role in that, they did a great job. I have no choice but to give the offensive line and the running backs this grade. Yep, no doubt. Now let's take a look at the defense. Since the defense only allowed 107 yards in the air, I can't believe the grade I'm going to have to give them. And they only allowed 147 yards total on the ground. 250 yards basically is what they allowed. I got to do something. I got to give them a grade.
I got to do something here. I still can't believe it. I got to give you your dream shot. I'm going to send you up against the best.
All right, defense, here's your grade. Oh, it pains me to give you an A+++ after the South Carolina game, but I've got to be fair. You hold a team to 0 points and pedestrian numbers like that, you're going to get, you earned it. You got the grade. After an F- performance at South Carolina, you just had an A++ day. So kudos on that one. As far as quarterback play, Joe Milton, look, the jury's still out on Joe Milton. I don't know if he's got what it takes to be a starter on this team or not. I really don't. He's got all the skills in the world, and nobody rooted harder for him yesterday than me, but he just had too many overthrows, and that's a problem in this. If you're playing Alabama or Georgia or something like that, you just can't have that. You cannot miss those opportunities because you're only going to get so many. Vanderbilt does not have the defense that some of these top schools have, and you can't be missing 3 and 4 and 5 times, and, unfortunately that was there. He made some great throws. The very first throw was awesome. I was like, oh, man, maybe we're on the right track here. And he made some other really nice throws. I mean, just on a bullet, just really, really accurate. But like I say, we'll see. I don't think that we have anybody solidly the starter for 2023. We've got one more ball game, a big bowl game, and this will be a great opportunity for Joe Milton to take the bull by the horns and say, this is my team, I'm going to be the starter. Now, if he can complete 70% of his passes or 65% or something like that and throw for 300 yards, we may have our starter. But if it's 150 yards or 200 or something like that and he's throwing just a little over 50%, that's not going to work out long term in this offense. You've got to have an accurate quarterback. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to run in this game, I think that hurt him a little bit because he's a great runner, and it would have backed anybody off from rushing him because I'm telling you, the guy will burn you. But he's our only scholarship player left at quarterback. We've got walk-ons after that. Not that they're terrible players, but you really want your scholarship players to be starting ball games and playing serious minutes. And we're down to one. Hendon Hooker's out. He's going to be in the NFL next time we see him. Tavon Jackson, he's hurt, and hopefully he doesn't go anywhere because, look, he's got as good a chance as being a starter next year as anybody. And we got Nico coming in, and Nico, he'll have to try to take it from Joe or take it from Jackson. Whoever earns it should get it. And I think Josh Heupel will be fair. If Joe Milton earns it, he'll get it. If Jackson does, so be it. If it's Nico, that's fine. I want the best player out there that gives us the best chance to win, and it might be Joe. But, he's going to have a great opportunity here in this bowl game to prove that to Josh Heupel, and that's who he needs to prove it to, not to me and the fans, even though we would appreciate it. Josh Heupel is going to be the key guy. And let's talk about this dude for a minute. Josh Heupel, 10-2. Last year he won 7 games. This year he's already won 10. He might end up with 11. Let me tell you something. Given the debacle he came into where over 30 players transferred out, some of our very best starters transferred out to Oklahoma, Michigan State, Alabama, all immediately were successful in starters. We had some good talent on the team, but unfortunately, the coach that we had didn't know what to do with it. I would have loved to have seen what this guy could have done with the talent that Jeremy Pruitt had, and we're going to get to see that very soon. We've got a bunch of studs coming in this year in 2023 on the defense, and we got a 5-star quarterback coming in, a bunch of just quality players across the board, a top 10 class, and we're going to pick up some transfers. That's almost certain. This is a team that's really showed progress, tremendous progress. We probably have the best coach in the country for what we need, a guy that's rebuilding and has an offense that can compete against teams that are more talented than them. We do not have anywhere near the talent Alabama does. We beat them. We do not have the talent LSU has. We beat them. So we're competing against teams that are either have the same amount of talent we have or better, and we're 10-2, which is fantastic. We got jumped at Georgia from the top, every 5-star at every position at Sanford, where they had the crowd really helping them. Or I think that game would have been much closer. And then South Carolina got us at their home, and they jumped us at 7 o'clock and got a hold of it and had a good win for them. And then they beat Clemson, of all things. But I could not be more pleased with this head coach right here. I know he's going to get a long-term deal probably this winter. I'm sure they're working on it, probably sign him to a 7 or 8 year deal. And he's going to make real good money. What is it? Lane Kiffin's getting paid, what, $9 million a year? Who would you rather have, Lane Kiffin or Josh Heupel? For me, and, there might be somebody out there that says they'd rather have Lane. Not me, not this guy. I love this offense. I loved it last year. When I saw what he did to South Carolina and to Missouri last year, I was like, holy shnikes.
No, son of a...
This guy is the real deal, Holyfield. We need to sign him long term because the offense was so much fun, and it changes how you compete. You can go up there with 3-star guys and they look like 4 and 5 stars because of what he does with them, the way he spreads everybody out, and then he gets mismatches. And what he's looking for is that weak link. He's going to find that weak link in the defense and expose it. And that's all you need. If you have one guy that makes a mistake, he's in the wrong position, or he makes a mistake, a bad move, that's all it takes. Boom, we're gone. You know, Jalen Hyatt, whoever, Cedric Tillman, they're just gone. And a good, accurate quarterback's going to hit them, touchdown like that, those big splash plays. Now, yesterday it was all about the running. You know, 3 huge running plays. And I think that was because Vanderbilt was so far down, they had to pull their troops up to the front to try to stop them on the line. And then once they broke through, there was no safety help back there. The safeties were up trying to stop the run. And when they got by them, it was all over but the shouting, because we've got, you know, very quick running backs. They're not 5-star guys, but I can tell you what, they can flat get down that path. And that Dylan Sampson's quick as can be. And the nice thing about Jabari Small, when he sticks that foot in the ground and then goes sideways and then accelerates, that's one of the best moves in college football. When Jabari gets moving like that and stops, he makes people look like a damn fool. It's really something to watch him run. So as you can tell, I'm very opinionated about it, but I couldn't be more pleased with a 10-2. Yeah, I know there's some disappointment because of the Carolina game, but 10-2, who wouldn't have taken that before this season got started? I had us at 9-3, and that was optimistic. I was hoping for 9-3. 10-2 has exceeded my expectations, so I'm real pleased about that. And all these big-time recruits coming in with this. How do you score 56 points with a quarterback who threw for 150 yards, you know, had an okay outing, and you score 56 points? Because you've got a great offensive scheme and a great coach who can just really create havoc for the defense. So overall, I'm really pleased with the season, and I look forward to a really great bowl. I'm hoping for the Sugar Bowl. That would be fantastic. I'd really like to play Clemson. I think that'd be a good matchup for us. But, you know, we'll see. Now, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.